Cotton, I just can't do it anymore.
Can't do what?
I can't pick a single one of these weapons.
What?
Not a single one appeals to me.
None of the 14 or the various playstyles?
Not one.
What is it? Are they not flashy enough? Not complex enough?
No.
Then what?
Not rock enough.
Excuse me?
I like to fight with rocks.
Okay, well, of course, yes, I know what you can do. Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, are you tired of your current weapon and moveset? Do you wish there were more options available? Well, today, like many days, I'm here to tell you that there are more ways to hunt than you might think. And while most of them are reasonably effective builds, and I would totally recommend you bring on just general investigation farming if you enjoy them, sometimes an idea comes around that is a little bit questionable, but so unusual, unique, and interesting that I absolutely have to share it with you anyways. So today, my dashing little daisies, I present to you a build, but more importantly, I present to you a question. Can you kill a monster with your hunter's only attacks being Slinger and Slinger burst shots? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is a build I like to call the Sling-Along Special.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Starting off with why this build exists, followed by what the build itself actually is, and then the playstyle I adopted while using this build, and the same one that you should probably adopt if you for some reason choose to go through this experience yourself, as well as the proper verdict on this build. As for why there is a build, well, I mean, you could just go out there and start firing slinger pods at monsters, but there are simply more effective ways of doing this. And in fact, while you cannot really raise the damage of individual slinger ammo or slinger burst shots, there are still a couple of new skills and mechanics in Iceborne that directly increase the chances we have of slaying some beasts, because this build does have a chance.
You sit on a throne of lies.
So the first thing is we are using Sword and Shield, specifically because the way that you fire Slinger Burst with this weapon is quick and extremely mobile, to the point that this build is weirdly extremely safe and comfortable to actually fight and dodge with. Sword and Shield also allows you to use your Palico gadgets while your weapon's unsheathed, because your Palico's damage is actually important right now, but this allows you more uptime, as you can fire Slinger Burst while doing this process with the weapon anyways.
I'll allow it.
Moving on to the build itself then, and starting off as usual with the weapon. For this set, we are using the Baroth Sword and Shield, simply because it has great slots and an innate defense bonus. Regular weapon statistics really have absolutely no impact on the success of this build, but a weapon augmentation for an extra slot, however, absolutely does, as well as the maximum defense augments that you can cram in there just because you can, really. The armor itself then is a mix of a couple of my favorite Iceborne sets, along with a wild card that I also love, and personally I think it just looks beautiful.
Oh, hot. Want to touch the hiney?
The 2-piece Silver Rathalos set bonus is just sort of quite clearly necessary for a Slinger-based build, as it allows you to reach Slinger Capacity 5. Having more ammo capacity directly translates to more damage, either through having less downtime in between fighting pods, or through allowing you to have more of the more powerful ammo types as well. After this, there aren't any skills that directly affect damage for this attack, so the only real route to go is utility and finding ways to have a higher uptime. Goldrathian 2-set Divine Blessing Secret for full 5 ranks of Divine Blessing accomplishes both of those beautifully, as you simply have to heal less frequently throughout the hunt, and the very interesting skill on the Helmet of Safe Landing, which we have talked about recently on the channel. Basically, this skill makes it so being hit by a heavy attack, instead of leaving you laying on the floor, makes you do a really cool backflip and get up instantly. It isn't the most effective skill in the game, but it is still more uptime, and honestly it is worth having on just for how goddamn awesome it makes you look.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Filling in the decorations then might actually create more questions than answers, honestly. Yes, there is 5 wide range in this build. No, I am absolutely not saying you should use this build in multiplayer, and I'm not doing that myself. Imagine firing an SOS flare on a 5-box, 20-minute tempered investigation, only to have a Slinger-only build pop in your quest. It's there because, as I said earlier, we are relying on Palico damage just a little bit, like to the extent of using wide range to help out our furry little friend. So as a whole then, this set comes with 5 earplugs for more uptime, 5 wide range, 5 Divine Blessing, 5 Palico Rally to significantly increase your Palico's damage, 5 Slinger Capacity, 4 Constitution as you will be rolling a ton with this, 3 Evade Extender to extend said rolling, Safe Landing, and 2 Tool Specialists in the Temporal Mantle, along with Slinger Ammo Secret and Divine Blessing secret. You also want to have affinity booster for your cat. I'm sorry, those 2 empty jewel slots at the top are just sort of based on your own discretion, based on the target you are fighting. You can fit 2 health boosts in there, but frankly with the way this build plays, I wasn't really finding myself get hit twice in a row. So unless you are fighting a monster with one-shot attacks, it is really unnecessary for this build. And in that case, you can put 2 speed-eating jewels instead, as not only can you use the items with your weapon unsheathed, but they also all apply to your Palico, so this is just an overall bonus, really. And as usual, my jewel collection was just slightly off of making the set perfect, as that lone earplug jewel in the 4 slot of the leg should be earplug/physique for the final level of constitution. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our complete build, ready to take into the field and really show some monsters who is boss, but like a tiny boss with very little actual authority.
Who are you?
Let's just say I'm the boss.
As for the playstyle of this build, let me just start by saying this build absolutely can kill monsters, and it does kill monsters. But the most interesting part of it to me is just how actually safe that I feel while using it. It's amazing how easy it is to dodge attacks with a weapon as fast as sword and shield when you aren't thinking about combos of any sort. You are just ridiculously mobile, and it is very noticeable while playing in this set. As far as your actual button inputs, your main gameplay loop will be find Slinger ammo. Your first priority is any ammo dropped by monsters. They're generally just really powerful. Past this, the priority is stones, and then crystal bursts and scatter nuts, and red pits, with everything else being more or less even afterwards. Once you have your ammo, draw your weapon, hold your left trigger, and press your right stick in to activate your Slinger burst mode. From here, you can dodge a hefty distance in any direction. You can let go of left trigger to run around at full speed, or you can just press your right trigger to fire your Slinger burst. This is your only weapon attack with this build, so get comfortable with it.
This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
And it's actually way more useful than you might think too. A number of Slinger ammo, most notably stones themselves, do KO damage, and you can actually stun a monster a number of times in a hunt, with my personal record being 3 against a berry off. Basically, you just need to find where the monster is weakest to your Slinger ammo, and just keep shoving rocks in there. However, there will be very tiny breaks to use your Palico gadget whistles, which are actually quite important with the build for any kind of success. Speaking of your Palico, you will want them to permanently be on Molotov cocktails, that is the highest damage output gadget, and you will want to equip them with whichever weapon is elementally strongest against your current target's elemental weaknesses. So Levisioth for fire weakness, Shrieking Like Iana weapon for ice weakness, and so on and so forth. At the start of a quest, you want to use the Tail Raider Signal Boa gadget to spawn you an extra little buddy, and then take advantage of all that wide range in the set to apply Mega Demon Drugs, Might Seed, and Demon Powder, because the cats are important, I guess. And then throughout the hunt, you just want to make sure you use Affinity Booster as well as your cat gadgets on cooldown for maximum cat-based assistance. Technically, I think you could justify the Flint Shot mechanic as a Slinger attack, as the Clutch Claw itself is a Slinger attachment, and then you just fire ammo. But for my personal purposes, I chose to go vanilla sling, as they say. No one says that, except me, apparently. If you follow all that, you can enjoy yourself a nice 20 to 30 minute hunt. Exactly the length they're intended to be.
What you talking about, Will?
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A build entirely capable of killing any monster using no other attack than Slinger Burst, and one that is incredibly safe to use at that. The kill times are excessively long, so I don't think I could really recommend it in any sort of serious way, but if you do enjoy just screwing around with the game, as I imagine most people do, this is a really neat build to try out, and it plays like absolutely nothing else. Alright everyone, I've been Cotton Dinosaur, and this has been the Sling Along special build / experiment, I guess. Do you enjoy this kind of build? What weapon or ability would you like to see us mess around with next? Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. This is the brand new outro to tell you all the things that you do that we love, so let's start with something simple and say, oh, we love your eyes. When they're watching us play video games, when we make a bunch of jokes that are kinda lame, or when they gaze upon our failures as we try to kill the monsters or report important news about the Kingdom Animalia. Rage, Continent, Hollow, we're all here, talking about the things you want to hear, so if you want to be the first to hear, like and subscribe and the bell and we'll cheer. Some of you are patrons, even though we are all the noobs and you're the pros, there's nothing we can do to thank you. No, really, there's nothing we could possibly do. Goodbye.